Good evening and welcome to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show here at the Chillicothe Sports Card Studio in downtown Chillicothe at the SOSA Dugout, which I think we all just got to really see for the first time, really, because it opens on Wednesday, so make sure you check that out. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. My name is John Bruce, along with Nick Barrows, sitting in for Coach Matt Hoops. We hope he starts to feel a little bit better. We appreciate Nick always stepping up and helping us out. But also our first guest here in studio from Shawnee State University and Zane. One of the things I've always noticed.
Yeah, for sure. I like winter training a lot because I get to be in the cold. However, over winter break, it was kind of icy and I don't want to risk falling. So I was doing a lot of workouts on treadmills, but whenever it wasn't icy, my first workout outside in the cold, it was kind of rough. The cold air in the lungs really got to me the first couple reps.
So one of the things I always realized in basketball, it always felt like whenever you're on Christmas break, they don't have the heat on all day in the school. So then coaches always, you start warming up and it's like the first couple down and backs are like, oh my God, why? Like, am I that out of shape? Yeah. It's like, no, it's just the cold air.
Yeah.
But so you run collegiately. You're a senior, right?
Yep.
So as a senior, I know you're coming off an injury from last year, but what's your normal week of running like?
Week of running. So throughout my time in college, my freshman year, I started doing 50 miles a week. That was pretty standard.
Is that every day you're running, right?
Yeah, every day.
Okay.
Well, 6 to 7 days a week. It depends. But most of the time, 7 days a week. But then as a junior, my mileage just progressively got higher. And then as a junior and going into my senior year, last summer, my mileage peaked at 100 miles a week, 100 to 106 to be specific. And that was running 7 days a week. My coach set it up to where I would do 100 to 106 miles for 3 weeks in a row. And then on the fourth week, it would be my down week where I would only run 6 days instead of 7. And I would do like about 93 that week.
Super easy.
Just 93.
Yeah, it was relieving to get a day off, truly. But yeah, the way it worked is I would run 7 days a week. Monday would be what's called a base run, where you're not working out, you're just going for mileage, just a good steady pace. I would do 2 base runs. Tuesday would be double threshold, which is 2 workouts. I run a workout in the morning and run a workout in the evening in 2 days. That's to work on something with your lactic threshold. I'm not sure what the exact science behind it is, but that was exhausting. And then Wednesday would be a mid-long, which is your like mid-distance long run. For me, that would be 12 miles.
Okay.
And then Thursday would be 1 run and just a base run. Friday would be another workout in the morning and then a base run in the evening. Saturday would be like a short, easy 6 miles. And then Sunday would be a 20-mile long run.
All right. That's I'm glad I didn't run cross country. So at what point in your life were you just like, you just loved running and you just wanted to do it at that type of level? Because I know some people go out and jog. Some people will try to do, I know Coach Hoops did a half marathon.
Yep.
Have you done?
I've done a half marathon.
Okay. I have not. I trained with someone who was doing a half marathon one day and like that wasn't. Yeah. That was the last time I really did well.
Thankfully, I was a lot younger when I did it. So
So when you were younger, when did you just say, I love doing this, I'm good at this, this is something I really want to do?
So I never had running on my radar. I always tried playing sports, and I came to learn I was not hand-eye coordinated at all. I played flag football in 6th grade. I was really bad at it. The rules didn't make sense to me. I tried out for basketball in 7th grade, and I could barely dribble a ball. The rules, again, didn't make sense to me. I was just really confused. And then I heard Zane Trace, had a track team in junior high, and I wasn't aware that meets and competition were even a thing. I literally thought it was just an after-school like fitness club. And I was like, oh, I can do this. That'll be fine. And then I showed up, and I thought, I probably can't run fast, but distance people just run really far. So maybe I can run slow without stopping, and that'll be good enough. So I started doing that, and then before I knew it, my coaches were like, yeah, we got a meet coming up. And I'm like, what's a meet? And the next thing I know, I'm like racing the mile, and yeah, just kind of went from there. But I would say the big turning point for me was during the pandemic in 2020. It was my sophomore year for track, and we started training. And then next thing you know, we're on like a 2-week break because of this thing called COVID. And I kind of had to decide, like, I didn't know if we were going to have a season or not. Obviously, we didn't. But I had to decide while we're on this 2 to 3 week break if I was going to train by myself and stay disciplined, or I was just going to like play video games. And I decided to stay disciplined. And then I found it was really good for my mental health too during all of that. And since 2020, I decided to stay with running.
All right. So it's just really like, and I think 2020 was an interesting year for all of us, but just when, since you didn't know it was going to be super competitive, when did you realize like, oh, you really like that competitive nature of it?
I don't think I fully realized that until I got in college. I was always really timid and really scared about competition. In high school, I would get really stressed out about it. The one thing I really liked doing was the mile, just because like in the SVC, the relative area, I was pretty good at the mile. Everything else was just really hard for me. And I didn't have a really good like mental framing for competition. But then I got to college, and my coach, Connor Flynn, we started at OCU. He then became the head coach at Shawnee, and I transferred and followed him there.
Okay.
He's the best coach I've ever had. And he was really good for me mentally and physically as a coach. He's really good. And he helped frame my mind about thinking about competition positively and really taking advantage of the opportunity I have. So, yeah.
So is it kind of competing within yourself? Because you're always like trying PRs or whatever you're based off of, correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Because, you know, it's not just about being the best out on the track or out in the field if it's cross country. You know, you're also going against yourself and trying to improve off of last time. So, yeah, he's really helped me look at competition from multiple perspectives.
So one of the really cool things I've gotten to do as like a writer or media member was I got to go to the state cross country meet, and it kind of just opened my mind to like how everything is, because you see, you know, everyone takes off. It's just a big mass of humanity, and then you know different people are coming through because it's going through the stadium at different times, and then all of a sudden coming around that last turn and coming into the stadium for the last time, just everyone gets up and it's just going nuts. Well, there's only one person, and everyone's just cheering that person on because it's so much about the just competing with yourself, competing. And it was really cool to see, because it was like, man, I was waiting on the kids I was there covering to come around, but then I was like, all right, I don't remember which school it was. It was Marlington, I think.
Okay.
And like they came through, I'm like, I just see a bunch of these kids coming through, and like they were supposed to be like third, and they just dominated and won the state. But you could just tell, like, it was just really cool. And it was just like, it was something I didn't experience before, but you could just tell what a special group of people cross country is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And then how's your body feel?
It definitely fluctuates. It goes back and forth. I personally do better with higher mileage, because my favorite events to race and track is anything from mile to the 5K. I do better with higher mileage performance-wise, which actually is kind of different for someone who races the mile. Typically, they do better with a little bit lower mileage, but I do better with higher mileage. However, for me, like 70 to 75 is what I consider my perfect like training zone for mileage. Especially when I was doing 100, I felt very, very rough a lot. Recovery was really important. When I took care of myself, I would feel better, but a lot of times my legs would just feel really heavy, really tight, a lot of lactic acid buildup. And then, you know, you throw a lifting routine on top of that too. Like my chest and my shoulders just, they ached sometimes. It wasn't always easy.
Now, down at Shawnee, did you live on the second floor of anywhere? Because that sounds like it'd be terrible.
I currently live on the second floor of a dorm building, so sometimes, especially on Tuesdays after double threshold and lifting, I'm walking back to my dorm. It's like 8 p.m. and I gotta go up the stairs. It's like the worst thing ever.
Yeah, that sounds like, it just did an easy. How many days or how many miles is that?
On Tuesdays, right now it's 15 to 16.
Oh, you're just doing easy 15 or 16, and you got to go up the stairs, and you probably have stuff too, and it's just
yeah. Oh yeah.
It just sounds like a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's one of those things like we've done in here. So Brandon's done really well of getting us different guests, and so we had a kid from Zane Trace that currently a really good pole vaulter, and just so me and Matt that week were like learning about the pole vault. And then we had a race car driver in here learning about that, and it's just like all these different ways that people don't consider how hard they are on your body. But is there a favorite like type of ground to run on? I know you ran on a bank track this weekend. How different was that?
That was really different. So I'd never been on a banked track because we're in indoor season right now. So a standard outdoor track is 400 meters, which is a quarter mile, just about. Indoor tracks are different. A lot of them are 200 meters. Some are 300, but the banked ones are 200. And it was really interesting because you have the straight stretches, which are normal, but then on the curves, they like rise up off the ground and they're at an angle, which I'd never, ran on until this weekend. It was really cool, but it was kind of nerve-wracking because they have the railing on the inside to make sure no one's cutting off any distance. And I've tripped on that as a freshman on an outdoor track. I haven't done it since, but I sprained my ankle when I did that. So you're on the slant and it's almost like sucking you in towards the center, and you just really had to consciously put an effort to not step on it. But it was cool. I've heard it's a lot better for middle distance, like the 800. I was racing the 3K, which is just short of 2 miles. I wasn't the biggest fan of constantly having to go around on the bank track for a 3K, but I'm glad I got to do it. It was a good experience.
So when you say you said it's 200, right?
Yes.
So would that be about 25 on each side? With about maybe like 100?
Like 25 meters?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I'm trying to think of I'm not good at math.
I could be wrong. I think the straight stretches are 60 meters.
Okay, so it's a good bit more.
Yeah. You're definitely on the straight stretch more than you are in the curves. So, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, it sounds, I would fall.
Yeah.
Like 100%. Like I almost fall like walking through here and it's flat.
Well, and it's scary because you're with a big pack of people. Like I was running and there was a guy who we're so close on the curve. He kicked my shoe, which caused me to stumble forward. And it was nerve-wracking.
Well, and I'm guessing there's not a whole lot of, you can't get a lot of separation because it's a 200-meter track.
Yeah.
So it's...
Yeah, there's only so much space.
Yeah, how many people were in that race?
I was the third heat of the 3K. I think counting me, there were 13, but the heats before had like 16 guys. Okay. So it's even more packed.
Yeah, so it's got to be, you can't have too many people because it's got to be hard to just track those many people because if someone gets out and, gets off to a great start, then, it's not that big of a track. So, so this is the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. And, Brandon you've gone to Brandon for a while, recommended you come on, and, I'm glad he did because, this is really nice talk. So Brandon does so much for all sports in the community and for just all walks of life as well. What has made you really appreciate the Haynes Total Healthcare Center?
I've really appreciated the Haynes Total Healthcare Center because they've gotten me through multiple injuries. So my hips are out of alignment. One sits according to Dr. Haynes, one sits 10 millimeters higher than the other. And with as much mileage as I'm doing, the mileage already, even if your body's perfect, you're taking a beating. But with my hips being out of alignment, I take an extra beating. So just getting regular treatment from him and maintenance and all of that has been huge. It's definitely prolonged my sport really, and how long I've been able to go successfully. But also just helping me, whether it's been recover from an injury or get through an injury till I can get to a break in my season, the end of the season where I get a few weeks off. When I was a senior in high school, it was my senior track season, obviously. I had really big goals, and I pulled my groin in the beginning of it, and it was, to this day, it's probably the worst pain from a sport injury, second worst pain I've ever felt. First was a stress fracture, but no, it was really bad, and I got really down and really sad, and I thought it's my senior year. This is over. I'm done. But he was able to do stuff for me with dry needling and electrostim, which I didn't know was even possible. That was huge. And he really helped me get through it. And then fast forward my sophomore year of college, I had Achilles tendonitis really bad in my right Achilles, and it was also during track season. And again, I was thinking, I don't know how I'm going to get through this, because just walking to classes, I was limping. And I would come in, and he was like, all right, I've got a plan. Like, long term, you are going to need a break to recover from this, but I've got a plan to get you through the remainder of your season. And he did just that. And between massage therapy and, again, the electrostim and dry needling, he got me through. And it was a miracle, really.
Yeah, so if you don't know, like, we've had different athletes on throughout, and it's pretty much all like there's something for you at the Haynes Total Healthcare Center, because it's, you know, they had the PT, you said the electrostim therapy, also dry needling, massage. There's so many different options that are just going to help you get better, no matter what your sport is.
Yeah.
So where we've had pole vaulting, we've had football, we've had race car driving, we've had runners, and it's just, you've got so many different options. It's just going to help you be better in your sport. And then for us that are old guys now at this point, like, it helps us have a better way of living. And it's it's a really excellent place overall.
Yeah. Also, as a runner, they also have the Normatec boots. Have you seen those? Those are my favorite. If I could have one recovery tool and nothing else, Normatec boots all the way. They truly are the best thing ever. I love using those.
So what makes them so much better?
So, you know, I mean, obviously they're these boots that hug your entire legs, and it's like they have like 20 massage guns in them, and they can target different parts of your legs, and it's so much better than just like a handheld massage gun that you just run up and down, or like even like massage therapy. In my opinion, it's better than that. Just the way they really fit each person's leg and hit specific muscles for you. It's perfect.
Nice. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that does great things, just overall the Haynes Total Healthcare Center, and we're glad that you were able to come in. We wish you the best of luck the rest of your indoor season and throughout your outdoor season as well, because this is the last one, right?
Yeah, last one.
I'm guessing that you will continue running after this?
Yeah, I actually plan on training for the Columbus Marathon as soon as I graduate, so I'm really excited about that.
Well, we'll make sure we're following along with that as well. So,
Appreciate it.
you know, this has been Garrett Carver. You're watching the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. We'll be right back with some members of the Jackson Ironmen basketball team. Welcome back into the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. This is going to be about a half hour of Jackson Ironman, so you better enjoy seeing these guys. So first off, we're going to have Bodhi Wolford, Ryan Seimetz in. Once again, I'm John Bruce along with Nick Barrows. Guys off to a really nice start to the season. I know, Friday was whatever, but I mean, it's got to be fun playing. It feels like you guys have the biggest crowds Jackson's ever had. How much fun is it to play in front of those crowds?
It's definitely really fun. We obviously experience it in football too. Like you said, I feel like we have one of the best crowds around, and the community always shows up for us and gives us their utmost support.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely a community-based team. We rely on their support to give us energy each and every night. Obviously, like Bodhi said, that's football, basketball, baseball, whatever. They're always there for us, showing up and giving their best, just like we are.
And then you guys, both being three-sport athletes, just how much do your individual coaches in each of those seasons just help? Because that to be able to be three-sport athletes, to be play at the level that you guys play at, you have to be able to have your coaches work together. So how nice has it been to have your coaches that really work together like that?
It's been very nice. Like you said, they all have to work together. Like, there's not one of our three coaches that are like, picky in terms of, like, they want you to spend more time on this sport than the others. So they really support us in all of our respective sports.
Yeah, they even push us to play all three, if you know what I mean. Like, they're like, yeah, we want you to play these sports. Like, get out there. It works different muscles, which kind of contributes to their sports, which obviously, I'm sure deep down some of them probably would like us to specialize in their sport, but it's good for the community. Just like ties into that too. Just seeing the similar faces in all three sports is a big deal for our community.
Well, it's just you hear, as a media member, it's just like, you hear like, oh, Ryan had a big game in baseball. Well, that makes sense. Bodhi had a big game in football. Well, yeah, because we see you guys in all these sports compete, and then you're doing a lot of winning too. So how much do you guys think playing the multi-sports actually helps you in each sport?
I think it helps tremendously. Like Ryan said, I feel like different sports help different muscle groups and whatnot to help you, produce more in the other ones. So, all of them really work together. And, going through the recruiting process actually for college, like, those coaches said that they want to look for guys that are playing the three sports. So, I think it helps a lot.
I think it helps in, like, injuries too. Like, you see a lot of guys, like, that are specialized in one sport. They'll get hurt in that one sport because they don't have like a various schedule with like what we do, and they don't work at the same muscle groups that we do. And like, I think that helps with being non-injury prone, which I'm gonna knock on wood. But yeah, obviously we've had luck there, and we don't have a whole lot of high school left. But in that aspect of it, I think it's really helped a lot to play three sports just to get our bodies in the necessary shape that we need.
Just so you guys know, I'm probably going to clip both of those as somebody who coached multi-sports, and we want to see kids do more sports. You guys are both playing high-level college football after this, and you play three sports. Your coaches want that, and then so many people want to do specialization, and it just takes away some of the high school experience. So you guys get to play in front of those big crowds all the time, and like we've said, winning is always fun. You get to hang out with your friends all the time. Like, you guys get to come up and do stuff like you do tonight because you play multi-sports. You don't get to do that if you don't. So
I feel like there's a lot of people specializing more now than there ever has been before. But I mean, you can play other sports that you're gonna play one sport in college, but you can only play three sports or two sports for so long, and you might as well do it when you can.
Yeah. So, like, Nick, how long did you play like pickup basketball? Do you still play?
No. I mean, into my 30s, though. You know what I mean? It was something that I did fairly regularly, until that time. I don't know, probably my mid-30s. I don't know what happened at that point, but something happened to my body that just doesn't work anymore like it did, and I knew it was time. But for you guys, talk about, not only do you play three sports, but you've experienced a lot of success in all three sports. So talk about how that helps going from season to season. Like, you're coming off a really successful football season, and now you're, about midway through what so far has been a really successful basketball season. So just talk about how the success kind of carries on from season to season for you guys that are multi-sport.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jackson in general just obviously I'm a little biased, but just builds winners like in sports and in life. Just like as humans overall, our coaches try to instill in us that we're gonna succeed at the next level in the next sport or just in the next step of life. So I mean, I think just going sport to sport, expecting to win, expecting to do our very best in everything we do, I think that's just a huge part at Jackson.
Yeah, definitely. Like basically, like he said, it's a winning culture in Jackson. Like there's a standard that you want to be league champions, you want to go on these deep playoff runs and just win basically. So I think it goes back to that.
Yeah, and then we'll go to talk to you guys for college for a second. So recruiting process, are you going as a quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah, so going as a quarterback to Bryant. Where is Bryant? Is it New Jersey?
It's in Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. Yeah. I went to Rhode Island this year. It's not very big.
Yeah,
but
tiny.
But like, did you drive over when you went?
No, we flew.
Okay, so if you drive over, you will go through like 8 states.
Mm-hmm.
It's nuts. But it's a very cool area as well. So what kind of brought you to that decision where you're going to go to Bryant?
Yeah, I was really between 3 schools at the end of my recruiting process. Cornell, and then Eastern Illinois was in there as well. But it really came back to the coaches there. Like their whole staff treated me very well. They're all really good dudes, and then the facilities there are top notch. So I just had a really good time when I went up there, and felt that it was the best fit for me.
All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck there. Obviously the rest of your seasons as well coming up as well. But Ryan, Ohio State, right?
Yep.
So how did that come about, and how did you make that decision?
I mean, it was kind of a crazy little like really really quick type of thing. I mean, I've always been a baseball guy since a young age. I've always been saying I'm going to try to play baseball in college. I'm going to do this. And just recently, like obviously I'm sure you're kind of into baseball a little bit, looking at the college world. If it's so hard to play college baseball right now than it ever has been before, just like, I mean, you've basically got to go D2 or JUCO or D3 or something to transfer in. And I don't really want to play professional baseball or professional football or something. I just want to get something that's going to kind of push me that way and just maybe play another 4 years while I get that education. And I think football is the best chance there. I had a couple connections at Ohio State. I could get my film out to them, and they like my film. I'm actually going as a safety and not a receiver, so it's a defensive back position. Yeah.
Well, once again, just like with Bodhi, we wish you the best of luck, and make the most of these next 5 months together with you guys, and then as you said, Jackson just making you guys ready for that next level, and not just in sports, but in life, and that's the most important thing. That's what we need out of schools and communities as well. So we appreciate you guys coming on, and hang right with us. You're watching the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. We'll have a couple more Ironmen in just a minute.
Have you experienced simply brilliant fiber internet? Yeah, that's Glow Fiber. Lightning fast internet that keeps up with your busy life. A reliable fiber-to-the-home network, whether you're working, learning, playing, or streaming. And best of all, Glow Fiber has real local support from real people who are happy to talk to you. And switch now for your first month free. Faster, more reliable fiber internet with real local support. Glow Fiber. Simply brilliant.
At Chillicothe Comfort Heating and Air, your comfort is our priority year-round.
Whether it's blazing hot or freezing cold, we've got your back with fast, reliable service you can trust.
Locally owned, honest, and done right the first time.
We have financing options available for every budget, as well as 60 months, 0% interest.
Call us today and feel the difference that comfort makes.
Richer. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
right, welcome back into the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. Right now, it's the Jackson Ironman Show, as we still got 4 more dudes in there with Coach Morrow over in the dugout right now. So we're at the Chillicothe Sports Card Studio. Next to me is Charlie Woodard, and then next to him is, all right, we're going to do this, Stephen Jenkins. But I kind of mentioned this before. My mom babysat his dad when he was growing up. So how that makes us related, it doesn't. But it's just one of those, fun facts. So you guys ended up in Jackson, and we're still over in Chillicothe. So welcome in, guys. It's been a really nice season for you guys so far. So I'll start with you, Charlie. Just kind of what's kind of been the secret for you guys as far as the season goes for success? I know you guys have a lot of experience, but how much has that helped you guys?
Yeah, I feel like that experience has a lot to do with it, and I feel like after so many years playing together, we just play so well together as a team, and that's really what's helping us.
Yeah, I'd say basically what Charlie said is experience. I mean, we've played together since about 2nd grade, and we know what everyone can do. We're all capable of scoring however many do and whatever we need to do.
So I hope you guys realize how different it is. How many seniors you guys have?
6.
Yep. How different it is to have 6 seniors that played as much varsity basketball as you guys have played, and I hope you guys are enjoying it because it's not a normal thing. Because usually kids fall off, go to different sports. At this point, kids are going wherever too. So instead of waiting their time. So what about Jackson has made it to where you guys have really wanted to stay together and been able to be as successful as you have been?
I mean, I just feel like it starts with the community. It's such a great community to be a part of, and no matter what sport you play, all the coaches they're pushing you to play other sports, and that's really just helping us keep everyone together.
Yeah, I would say the community helps a lot, and then just again from us playing together so long, just playing together has been really fun with all of us.
Yeah, and you're playing together. You know what each other can do, and that's how you build to a really good team. So. You guys have had, what's the record now?
10-2.
10-2. So 10-2, one of the better Jackson teams that I can ever remember. Now, I will say this. I coached at Uniota for a long time, and one of the places I don't remember us ever winning was at Jackson. So you guys it's always been something where Jackson's been a tough place to play. Mm-hmm. Is that something with kind of your guys' gym, or is it kind of with your community? Because you guys have had a huge following this year as well.
Yeah. I think the crowd does have a big part of that. I mean, recently we have been filling up that gym, and that just helps us play to a different level.
Yeah, out of our 4 years, this is definitely the most people we've had community-wise in a long time.
Yeah, and then Charlie, you played football as well,
Mm-hmm.
And that's possibly at the next level, right? So,
possibly.
Hopefully, if that's what you want to do, obviously. But going from playing football at Jackson to playing basketball. Just how much fun is it? The brotherhood you guys have, and you mentioned the coaches, obviously. Just what has it meant to you to be a Jackson Ironman?
Oh, it means everything to me. I mean, ever since I was little, I've always looked up to those high school kids that have been playing both sports, and now that I'm that guy, it just kind of feels great for all the little kids looking up to me.
Then Stephen, a lot of people. I don't know if you know this, have seen Stephen if you've been to the convo. So when you're looking up to just those people, when you're down there mopping and doing all the stuff on the floor, did you ever think you were going to be one of those guys that little kids are going to look up to when they get older?
Yeah, I mean, everybody does. A lot of people want to do it. I know we all wanted to do it last year, but we fell a little short. But our plan this year is to get there and get one game at a time. But it'd be awesome to do.
Yeah, so is that, basketball's your only sport, right?
Basketball's the only sport.
So was that just hey, I've always been around it, this is going to be, or is it just, did you try any of the other ones?
I played baseball until about 6th or 7th grade, but it didn't work, so I just decided I'm going to stick with basketball.
And then are you just football, basketball?
Yep, football. I did run track earlier, but...
Okay, so how did baseball go over there? Did you guys take some cuts?
We did not. Well, he did. I didn't take any cuts, but they did. It was pretty fun. It was a cool thing you guys have in there.
All right, so
who's got the best hit? So
probably Ryan. Probably Ryan.
Yeah, probably Ryan.
It should be Ryan, but it'd be nice if somebody could sneak up. So Steven, I think you got to step in there and try to sneak up and try to knock off his best time or best distance, exit velo, whatever you have in there. So big week coming up. Just how important is it for you guys, especially with the FAC, with how good the FAC is, to take things one game at a time because you can't look ahead at all? How much does that help to play such a tough schedule?
I mean, it helps us a lot because every game we play that's tough, it just gets us better and ready for the next game. And I mean, we're coming off a sad loss last Friday, and we're just hoping to move on from things, try and not think about it too much.
Yeah, like Troy, with the loss, we have now we're down an extra game in the league, so we definitely need to have these 2 wins to get back in the league to be first place.
Yeah, and then with such a tough league, and like we have our overtime show, and we were taping earlier, and we're going through Division III, and we're just like, this is crazy. So every win is going to help, and we wish you guys the best of luck. We appreciate you guys coming in. And real quick, refereeing, are you gonna get into refereeing?
Probably eventually, yeah. I knew Dad and brother really want me to get into it.
Yeah, so we need more referees that have played and know the game.
Yeah.
You got a referee over there as well?
Yep.
So we need more referees. And when you're at games, just you wouldn't call it right either. So more likely than not, just treat the referees well because they are working on it pretty hard. So we appreciate you guys coming in.
Yep, thank you for having us on here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys for coming in. We wish you guys the best of luck this week and beyond as well. So you're watching the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. Hang right with us. We'll have 2 more Jackson Ironmen in just a moment. All right, welcome back into the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. Once again, a couple more Ironmen. We got CJ Crabtree, Eli Ray next to us. 10-2 start for the season. It's been a really nice start for you guys. Just how much, CJ, I'll start with you because you're a junior. So how much fun is it playing with this group of seniors?
I played up with them for a long time. I know them really well. I mean, we're together like 5 days a week, 6 days a week, like on the weekends. So it's fun. We play fast, and yeah, it's really fun.
And then Eli, when you guys are mixing in, bringing up a couple of juniors, how valuable have they been for you guys off to this 10-2 start?
They've been super valuable. I mean, Dayton came in the other night against Wheelersburg, played great defense. CJ just came in and gave great energy. He had a big dunk against Alexander.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, they come in, they play hard.
Yeah, and it's just playing hard. You mix in because you've got guys that are used to playing with each other and everything, and just how much fun you guys are playing in front of pretty packed gyms every night. So was that at Alexander your dunk?
No, it was home.
So how much fun was that to hammer one at home?
Oh, it was fun. I mean, the crowd loved it, teammates loved it, coach loved it. It was amazing. First time I've done that in a game. It was great.
Yeah, I once touched the backboard in a game, so I mean, it's one of those. I'm jealous of you, but like that would be so much fun. It was just we had a player when I was growing up that he would dunk and just the crowd just went nuts because you don't see it that much.
Yeah.
at the high school level. So it's had to be a pretty fun experience. So
you got your first one. So now is it like no question any time? Like there's going to be no hesitation next time, right?
I'm looking
the
for
opportunity's there.
Yeah, I mean it's encouraged in practice and in games, and so I'm always looking for it. Always looking for the chance.
Good.
Well, you could always miss a layup. Like you could miss a dunk too, but a missed dunk at least might hit the roof or something.
It looks a lot better than a missed layup.
Yeah. So Eli, with that much energy, how much fun has it been? The 6 seniors, you guys playing together. Obviously, you play 3 sports as well. How much fun is it to be able to compete with your friends and your classmates all throughout your really lives?
It's super fun. We go at it and everything. It's a competition for everything, and it's super fun. It's been fun we've done it longer than just these 4 years. We've done it since 6th or 7th grade. So yeah.
So it's you're competing at a high level. You get to play in front of your community. You don't have a lot of kids move in or move out. So just how much does your guys, and this is for both of you guys, how much does your guys' community help you guys on when you guys go out, or maybe it's a tough night, you just look out at the crowd, packed house, how much does that help? I mean, it's all just one big family. I mean, you got countless supporters always having your back, always standing up for you, and everybody looks out for each other. I mean, it's just strong. It's not weak at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Basically what he said, Jackson, we travel well, just like against London. I mean, it was a pretty far drive. It was a big game, but I mean, it was packed. Our stands there were completely full. You couldn't sit down. So yeah. Yeah, that's and that makes you work even harder at the same time as well. So CJ, I know you had one of our big clips of the year is a interception against Little Miami. If you haven't seen it, it's just a ridiculous play. Was it Bodhi that deflected it?
Yeah.
So Bodhi, who we had in earlier, deflects it. CJ just comes from about 30 yards back and one-handed interception. Like, it was ridiculous. So can you just, how much fun was that play to make and just see your crowd going as crazy as it were? Because it locked up your guys' first win of the season.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was unexpected. It was just right place at the right time. We loved it. It was amazing. We started off the season really hot, and it helped build momentum throughout the season, I feel like.
And then Eli, with you playing 3 sports, obviously you have a good bit of time left, but it's kind of running down at the same time. How much are you valuing each time? Like coming up here today, you guys go to dinner, you guys come in, you get to do this together. Just how much are you valuing that as a senior?
I value it a lot. All the coaches talk about how fast time goes by. Whenever everybody says when you're having fun, time flies. So I think that's how it's been, and I've been really valuing it this whole year, honestly.
And then in the spring, so I'll go to you, CJ, high jumper, right? Which makes sense on being a dunker as well. So when did you get into that?
7th grade. I didn't do track before that, but 7th grade I started doing high jump and sprinting and track, and I started to slowly like that better than baseball, so it's kind of became my 3rd sport.
All right. So when you do that, how much do you guys, when you're getting ready to compete in the high jump, how much do you guys push each other from other schools?
Oh, it's nerves. I mean, you see kids come in high heights, and you look at the heights beforehand, 30 minutes before you get there, and it's just like competition. I mean, just if he gets it, I want to get it, that type of thing. So it's a big competition. I mean, you only got 3 shots to do it, and if you don't get it, you're out. So it's a lot of fun. We push each other a lot, and sometimes it's good, and sometimes they can beat you up, but it's part of it. Yeah,
but it's always good to compete. So Eli, with you're going to UC next year, right, Cincinnati?
Yep.
So that'll be exciting. So are you playing summer baseball?
No, I'm not going to.
All right. So you got the big last run coming up. So you get obviously basketball, hopefully a long run for you guys there, but also baseball. How much are you looking forward to that baseball season? Because you guys should be one of the top teams in the area again.
I'm excited for it. We need a district championship. That's what me, Bodhi, and Ryan, that's what we're looking for. We've had great teams in the last few years, but we cannot seem to get it done there, and that's what we want to do. We want to get a district championship.
Well, we wish you guys the best of luck. Obviously, had to play well, and with how well you guys have played over the last few years, you can see why baseball is such a hard sport to win in because how talented you guys have been. But sometimes you can use those not really failures, but coming up a little bit short, you can use those to build up for a big time finish, which hopefully you guys can do. So, CJ, Eli, we appreciate you guys coming in. Hang right with us. You're watching the Haynes Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. We'll be right back with our last two Jackson Ironmen. All right, welcome back into the Haynes Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. I've got Jax Carroll, Dayton Kallner to my left. The last two of the Jackson Ironmen coming in. Was it because you guys were nervous, or is it just like you're the guards, so you just kind of hang out?
Well, everybody just went before us. Yeah.
So being the guards, you kind of got boxed out on that.
Yeah.
So, you guys, Jackson, you played 4 years, right? Varsity.
Yeah, I sat my freshman year.
Okay, so you guys have competed at a high level throughout your career. How much fun has it been to play for Jackson, but also how much fun has this season been for you?
I mean, it's been really fun. Like all 4 years, it's been a great experience. I've lived pretty much every minute of it. This year's been really fun. Obviously, having a little bit of individual success, but as a team, we're off to an absolutely great start, and I think we've played great as a team so far this year, and it's been amazing.
Well, like you guys coming in together, you guys coming up to Chillicothe together. It's just like those things build as a team. So Dayton, how much have you and CJ, you played football as well, right?
Yeah.
So how much did you and CJ see it in football, but also here in basketball? How much coming together with the seniors, how much has that helped?
Well, me and CJ really just been best friends with them since our freshman year, and we've been real close, and it's been great just having them here one more year, but it's gonna be hard next year, but definitely like it this year.
Yeah, so you got it, 2 months left together during basketball, so you just make sure to appreciate all the days and make the most of them because you never know. But things like this, can help you guys get better because it's going to help your communication and everything. So, Jax, how much has your game grown? Because I know early on it seemed like more of a shooter, but now you can do a little bit of everything on offense.
I mean, I think it's grown just from looking at years past. My role's kind of just been a shooter, just stand there and shoot threes, nothing really else. But I kind of worked on it a lot over this last offseason, kind of trying to improve my game in every other area.
And then Dayton, how's your role came about? Is it been more? It's been more this year, right? You were on the roster last year? I know. Did you play much last year?
I broke my ankle last year, so I was injured, but definitely this year, just bringing the energy, playing defense, just trying to get everybody going. So,
doing so with the crowds you guys have, how much does that help you as an energy guy? And then when you see them really get into it, how much more energy does that even give you?
It's just crazy, like getting steals and then everybody just screaming, yelling, all that stuff. It's nice to have.
So one of the things I've noticed, and this is, I don't know if you have as well, if you get a steal and like legitimately get fouled, you don't even have to score. People just go insane because it's almost like you've frustrated the other team, and the crowd just loves it so much. Have you noticed that at all?
Yeah, the community's great. They hype me up all the time.
And then Jack says, your role has kind of changed and you've improved each year. Just how much fun has that been to see all that hard work really paying off for this 10-2 start for you guys?
I mean, it's been really fun. It's been really fun, and I mean, just enjoying every second of it.
And then Dayton with these guys, you and CJ playing with those guys, you said, it'll be a little different next year, a little more difficult, but with how hard you guys work, it doesn't mean you have to fall off or anything, but with you guys being 8 deep, how valuable is it for you guys to have success this year and to shake off every once in a while when you do have a tough night?
It's just going to be important to win each game one at a time and just try to go as deep as we can this year, because next year don't know what we're going to have, and because the seniors have played all 4 years, and it's just going to be tough.
Yeah, and then Jackson, as a senior, obviously you know how much time you got left, but how much is it to look at each day and practice and help push everybody, with you guys, 6 seniors and then 2 juniors. You guys are a very experienced team. How important is it for you guys to have the best practice every day and going into each and every game?
I mean, I think it's super important. We have to look at each game like it's just as important as the last, no matter what team. I just think we have to come in with that mindset every single day because we don't have much time left, and I think we do really enjoy each other's company and playing with each other. So I think we would like to have some really good team success this year and maybe make a little run.
Mm-hmm. Well, then this week the Ironmen have gets super easy. So after what you guys have done in your season so far, they go at Washington Courthouse, who's off to a really nice start this year, and then you get super easy one. I said it. Not them. You guys have Miami Trace on Friday. You're going to need the whole community there because that Miami Trace team is outstanding as well. So you guys lost them by 5 the first time. Should be another outstanding game. So if you are a Jackson Ironman fan or a fan of basketball in general, that's the game to be at. Either of those games this week will be outstanding games. So how much fun would it be to play in front of huge crowds for those 2 games?
I mean, it's fun. It's big. We've had a lot of great crowds this year. Our community's shown out. Even whoever we play really brings a lot of people too, and I think that just brings a lot of energy to it, and it just makes it really fun to play.
So we appreciate you guys coming in. Best of luck to you this week. Going to be, you got to play well because you got 2 outstanding teams ahead of you. So we appreciate you guys coming in. Here in just a minute, we will have Coach Max Morrow in for a short little interview. You are watching the Haynes-Stoll Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. Welcome back into the Haynes-Stoll Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. This has been the Haynes-Stoll Healthcare Jackson Ironman Show tonight. So we appreciate you, Coach, for bringing them up. We got Coach Max Morrow in here. How are you doing tonight, Coach?
Good. We appreciate you guys having us. Guys look forward to this. And if you're a high school basketball fan in this area, everybody tunes in on Sunday night to you guys, and then you guys do a great job with us.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And hopefully we'll get some of those guys to come back in here and get some more swings in. Was anybody any of the non like Ryan, did you expect, or Bodhi?
Yeah.
Was there anybody that surprised you in there?
Ryan, Bodhi, and Eli were definitely the better ones. Obviously, our baseball guys, but the other ones were trying. They made me swing it a couple times, and I just hope it doesn't affect my golf swing, here in the spring. So,
well, the good thing is this is the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. It is a chiropractor. So if your back starts hurting, I think I may be calling him after my swings earlier.
I'll know where to go then,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
Yes.
So 10-2 start to the season. I know Friday lose to a really good Chillicothe team. Can you just talk about how good the FAC is this year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're a little biased, but the FAC just conference as a whole is really solid, really strong. It's usually a strong basketball conference, but this year it just seems really tough all around, And I know, we look there and, I know McLean hasn't won a game in the FAC, but they're a really good, well-coached basketball team and can beat anybody on a given night. And that's kind of how our conference goes. There are no easy games. You look at your schedule in the preseason, you look at it through the season, and you're like, when can you just have a time to just take a breath and relax for a second and play above average and find a way to win? That's not an option in the 10 games we play in conference. Obviously, starts with Miami Trace. They were 10-0 last year. They won it all, and they're right now undefeated still on the season. They did get beat by Courthouse, a very good Courthouse team, but it was in a holiday tournament, so it doesn't count in the league standings. And then Chillicothe, you just mentioned, we played Chillicothe this past Friday at our place, and Coach Beard really had them ready to go, and I was very impressed. They shot it very well. They were well prepared, and we didn't have just one of our best games. But again, it was a 3-point game with 1 minute to go, and we gave ourselves a chance there at the end and just couldn't find a way to get over the hump.
Mm-hmm. And then you talk about your league and just how much it prepares you, but how much has Jax's growth throughout the season helped you guys out to this 10-2 start? Because you can just tell he's grown in his game, but also his confidence throughout his career.
Oh, I mean, I've said this, I don't know how many times with our Jackson radio stations and after post-game interviews and interviews throughout the year, but Jax Carroll is a big reason why we're at 10-2. Yeah. And, and I told you before we walked in here today, I didn't want to just bring one or two guys because we do things a little differently. We are such a team-oriented basketball team, and it's never been more evident than this year because we've had 4 different leading scorers throughout our 12 games. Not many teams usually have that. Usually that's, you have one and then you have a second one and then everybody does their part. And we've had 2 juniors really step up here lately off the bench playing, starter minutes. So 6 seniors, we're a senior-laden team. We're older. I think that experience has helped us on this season. They're tough guys and they're really good friends, and that's the main thing. And I know you were talking with those guys earlier, just how fun it is to play high school sports with your buddies, and that's what it's all about. And these guys, I hope they're having a great year. Wins and losses we are, but I just hope they're enjoying themselves because at some point you look back on these times and it's over and no one's cheering for you and clapping for you and getting to do fun interviews like this because you're out of high school and not many people get to play at that next level, which we are fortunate enough to have a few guys get to go on to the college level and play some sort of sport. But these moments are precious.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. And that's one of the things with all the different media you guys have down there and we have as well. It's fun to get to know these kids and for them to be prepped because, you could just tell they've all done this before and they in some way, one way or another. And so they know how to answer questions. And I think that goes to a lot to your dad too. So how much fun is it to have your dad call your games?
It is. He if I just think of somebody in town that loves Jackson, just loves Jackson Ironman sports, Jackson Iron ladies, anything. He's been broadcasting for 40 plus years, way before I was even a thought to have. So it's neat. It means a lot to him, and it means a lot that I get to do something that I love and coach basketball at my alma mater. And I always tell people, it wouldn't mean the same to do it somewhere else. It means something there. I love Jackson, love the red and white, and it's fun to be a part of the community and have everybody support you the way they do, and not just basketball, but in all sports.
Right. So just speaking of the community, I got to do PA down at Shawnee State yesterday. They were playing Oakland City. So Caleb Wallace is back on your staff this year, right?
Yes.
So how much is his experience? Obviously, he was a great player, but how much has his experience kind of helped you with your day-to-day?
Well, I'll just tell you, Caleb is special, and they don't make many kids like him. First off, but his work ethic was top notch. But just in general, he is not only is he just a great person, but he's brought so much to me myself that this year with our offense, we're averaging right under 60 points a game, and we haven't been that high in many years. He has really fine-tuned it for these guys, and he can break things down for them even better than I can. I'll be the first one to admit that. He's talked to them, and all these guys respect him because he's been there, he's done that. He's played at the college level. He's younger, he's cool, but he can come in and really relate to them and get them to play at a different level, and I think that's been huge for our team and our success this season.
Yeah, so big week this week at Washington. Miami Trace on Friday. Kind of wanted to hype it up for you guys. I don't know if you guys need hype. How great's your community been so far this year?
Oh, I words can't describe how good it's been. I mean, anything we need, any fundraising, and we got new uniforms this year. We got a donation. We got warm-up pants this year. Our booster clubs are great, but just the community support and everything we do, and anything the kids go and ask for that they want or need, they're always given the best. And that's great to have. I know a lot of communities around this area are like that in their sports because a lot of people take pride in their sports and their communities. Sport is a big part of community. So it's great to see the crowds. We're selling out everything in the concession. I thought a huge crowd there for a Unioto game a couple weeks back, and then the Berg game this week in Chillicothe. They just keep growing, win or losing. Right. Win or lose, the people are there to support these guys, and those players in there deserve it.
Yep, and just from talking to them, you can see why and everything. So we appreciate you coming in. Appreciate you bringing the guys. I hope they enjoyed the dugout, and hopefully we'll see them during baseball season as well. But best of luck to you this week. It'll be a tough week, but if you guys play well, good things will happen. And no matter what, you just want to play well.
That's right. Just want to keep playing well, and we appreciate you guys having us up here. The dugout, if anybody hasn't seen it yet, when it opens, it's a really neat spot, especially you baseball, softball players. Get in here and get to work. We appreciate you having us, and thanks for these guys really enjoyed it.
Good. We appreciate it. So hang right with us on the Haynes-Stoll Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. We will actually have some coaches calling in when we come back. All right, welcome back to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show from the Chillicothe Sports Card Studios. And first, now we got to jump to the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline. First coach up tonight from Eastern Pike, Coach Ethan Leist. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks for waiting. it was
That's okay.
when we had talked to Coach Morrow, it was kind of like we had kind of discussed the two players, and I was like, I thought, hey, why don't you just bring them all? But then he kind of was like, oh, I think we're going to bring them in. And I'm like, okay, we're going to talk to all of them. So kind of pushed everything back.
I enjoyed listeing to it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and I learned some things too. So
hey, that's the biggest thing is learning. So, Coach, I know when we talked, it was kind of a slow start for you guys this year, but it seems like things have picked up a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit over your last couple weeks?
Yeah, last time we talked, we kind of discussed, getting off to a little bit of a rough start record-wise and playing a tough schedule right out of the gate. And we kind of talked about how, that can be a benefit or it can be a negative thing. And it's really just all about how you handle it. So for us, it was really just kind of about, just pushing the guys every day to stay bought in, to stay believing in the things that we kind of stand on. We had played some good teams close and made some good efforts against some, quality opponents early and just came up a little bit short. You come in from, last year we had a team that was really looked a lot different. We could score in bunches, and some of the flaws that we had early on were covered up by the fact that, at times we could kind of go off a little bit offensively. And when you have a team like that, it makes me look like a much better coach than I am. But when you come into this year, we just have a much different team. So part of it was just, getting used to playing together. And then some of it too was just, riding the wave a little bit, weathering the storm. One of the things, John, that we really believe in as a program is defensive rebounding percentage. I talked to you about that before. Our goal going in every game is 75% or higher defensive rebounding percentage, which means, we're rebounding 75% more of their misses. And I really feel like if you do that, you'll give yourself a good chance against anybody. And that's one of those things that we can always kind of control. Not that we can always out-rebound every opponent that well, but if we, bring that effort every night on the glass, that's something that we can control. Another thing's offensive rebounding percentage. We've struggled some scoring in the half court just because of the makeup of our team. And I really enjoyed listening to one of your shows. I think it was last week or the week before. You guys talked about kind of why scoring averages are down and why it can be tough to score in the half court at times. And I think some of the points you guys made are spot on. Like, coaches do a really good job of scouting. Scouting is better than it's ever been. You see a lot more zone, which, there are a lot of things that you can do against a zone. You can run quick hitters to get looks. But ultimately, playing against a zone has a lot to do with instinct, has a lot to do with skill. So you see a lot of that. So for us, it was like trying to find things in the margins that translate to winning. And I can just tell you, in the games that we've rebounded 75% or more of the opponent's misses, we're 5-0. Games that our offensive rebounding percentage has been 40% plus, we're 6-2. And games where we've held the opponent under 45, we're 5-0. Right. So I think those were the things that we were just like, hey, here are the results that you're getting from these things. Because it's one thing to preach out every day. It's another thing to say, no, when you do this, we win. And so I think that has been a big part of kind of the turning point for us. But, ultimately it's just figuring out who we are. Like, okay, these are the things that it's going to take for this group to win ball games.
Yeah, and Coach, I kind of refer to this part of the season as like getting into the grind. You got maybe about a month left, and you maybe had a little break there at the holidays, and now you've been back for a couple weeks. And I kind of refer to it as a grind because it's the time of year it is, and then it's also just a time where every game matters. And the kids have been at it for a little while. So what are you doing as far as practice goes of keeping them fresh and preparing for the next opponent, but then making sure they're getting enough shots up and those kind of things as well this time of year?
Yeah, so things definitely start to shift as you talked about. I mean, well, things really shift this time of the year. Early in the season, we do a lot of competition. We do a lot of breakdown stuff in practice. We're getting up and down. Not that we don't do that at this point, but you do a little bit less of it. You focus more on, at this point, you focus more on getting a lot of shots up. Like you said, to be honest with you, that's something early on in my career, I didn't do it well enough. I had all these things that I wanted to teach every day, teach, which is good. But ultimately, if you're not getting enough shots up, especially at this point, it really hurts you. So we try to shoot a lot, variations of shooting drills just to make sure that we're, getting enough up. And then also just, we focus a lot on the mental aspect of like how we want to guard teams. We mentioned it earlier, like, that goes both ways. If other coaches have the advantage with scouting, seeing, what they want to take away from you, we don't spend too much time on that. You have to have a good balance because you have to really focus on us first, right? But at the same time, it's like, the mental aspect of, okay, games can be won and lost in how we guard the other team's best player, how we guard 3, 4, 5. What do we want to take away from them? So, and I'm, we have a decent amount of seniors. I try to be very straightforward with them and how we communicate that stuff because they're smart enough, if you're honest with them about it, they understand that stuff pretty well. So we spend a good amount of time on that stuff as well.
So one of the seniors that you talked about earlier in the year, but I saw he had a big dunk yesterday down at Portsmouth. Can you talk? I was impressed with what Eric was able to do when I saw you guys in that Lynchburg game. Can you talk about kind of his growth as a player, Eric Manley?
Yeah. So Eric, we knew coming in that he was a plus athlete, obviously from what he has done on the football field. Mm-hmm. It's been tough. Like he and I have always had a pretty good relationship, but he's just always been honest with me. Like last year, he's like, Coach, I want to play. He's like, I've just had some knee issues. I really want to focus on playing football at the next level. And I'm like, hey, I get it, man. You got to do what you got to do. But he's been the guy that we always wanted to get in because we just knew that he had so much potential. And him being a senior this year, like we knew we were going to really need him with, coming into this year, losing what we lost from last year. So it's like, I just looked at him from day one. I said, hey, this is going to be a process. I'm going to be very honest with you, straightforward with you on what we need to work on. I said, we're not as coaches, like we're not expecting you to come in here and just dominate right off the bat. Like we're realistic, but at the same time, we need you and you're going to be playing a lot of minutes and we're just going to have to kind of try to hit the ground running. So, there's a lot of things that I look at him and I'm like, daggone, if we would have had him for 4 years, mm-hmm. he could have been one of the best players in the state. But he understands that. And so he's willing to just show up and learn as much as he can, soak up as much as he can every day. And it's like taking a guy who's never played varsity. It's like being a freshman. Like you guys know, being around the game, it's like when you're a freshman, for me, my freshman year, I'd play one game, I'd have 20 and just feel like I couldn't be stopped. And the next game, I wouldn't even score. And it's just like, what is going on? I'd ask my dad, what's going on? It's just the speed of the game. You just have to get used to that. And so that's what it's been with Eric, but we're so happy to have him. Just such a phenomenal kid.
And we kind of talked about this time of year it is. Who's a guy that's kind of like just turned the corner for you, Coach, of like, this second half of the season has kind of, made the strides and is a guy that's going to be real important in addition to Eric here to close out the season?
Yeah, I will give you a direct answer on that. But first, let me just really quickly, like we have 4 seniors, okay? 2 of them have varsity experience. 2 of them have never played varsity. One of them is Aiden Warner, and the other is Carson Peters that played for us last year. Peters was kind of our 6th man, 7th man last year, and Aiden obviously has been our starting point guard. Those 2, I would say, to answer your question, are the ones because Aiden has played a lot of minutes from the first game. He started off the season like he can get anywhere he wants to on the floor. He was just having a hard time finishing. Last few games, he's been finishing for us, which really helps open up our offense. And then Carson Peters, he's just kind of a motor guy, phenomenal athlete, phenomenal football player. He just plays really hard. We can put him, he can guard 1 through 5, which really helps. So those 2. And then just like Hayden Ryan-Smith, a senior who plays quite a bit for us, has never played varsity basketball, did not play last year, came out for us and has really started to settle in nicely. And then Cade Cade Leist and Boston Webb, the two juniors in our rotation you guys are familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we pretty much know what we're going to get from them. And then the other guy that's really kind of been a nice surprise for us is Eli Schaefer. He's a freshman, and he's one of those just high-energy motor guys. You can bring him in the game, and he'll just put a ton of pressure on the opposing team's point guard. As you guys both know, it's really nice to have a guy like that. So, we're starting to gel. We're starting to come together a little bit. So, I'm excited about the last 8 games.
Yeah, it sounds like you should be. You guys are playing well. I know you got a big week this week. I know with Northwest to finish the week, but should be a really good week for you guys. Hopefully, the kids keep playing well and progressing throughout the season as well.
Yeah, I think so. Last thing I'll say, I just really appreciate you guys, and I think that for me, one of the things that I've learned, there are a lot of really good coaches in this area. They deserve a lot of credit. It's not an easy profession. One of the things that I've learned over the last couple of years is just how important relationships are. And you see that with Coach Max that was on there before me and many others, just trying to be transformational in a world that is very transactional, trying to love them without an agenda and have relationships with each guy. I just think that's more important than anything at this point in time. So just appreciate hearing from these other coaches and really appreciate everything you guys do.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on and how candid you are with us and everything. And that's one of the things we've really enjoyed about doing this show as well. So thank you for coming on, and we hope to hear from you again before the end of the season as well.
Yep, I would love that. Appreciate you guys.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Well, that's just one of those things of, like someone asked, so like our Kenneth Hay is just in there helping with the kids in the dugout and like not being paid for it. It's just one of those things. He really likes doing this stuff, and you come in like whenever we can, and that's just because we enjoy this and everything, and that's why the coaches come in and do it as well. So we appreciate each one of them.
I just I was thinking back. I just happened to be on. I don't know how many times you've talked to him, but I know that I was on at least one other time that you talked to him. And just really enjoyed talking with him then, and then talking to him again tonight. You can just tell how much he cares. Not just about basketball, but how much he cares about
the kids,
coaching and the kids, and trying to help prepare them for life as well.
Yeah, 100% agree. And now the next coach we have on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline, Coach Greg Newland from Adena. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Hey, pretty good, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for hanging tight with us. I know our time was a little bit earlier, but we appreciate you hanging tight and still coming on with us as it is a Sunday night. Thankfully, you don't have school tomorrow, right?
Exactly. Yeah, no school tomorrow.
So seems like you guys are playing a really good brand of basketball as of late. Obviously, we've talked about Marley at different times throughout the year on whichever show it is, because how outstanding she is. But what has kind of been, the key, switch for you guys throughout the season?
I think it's kind of just a mindset that's been paying off for us. We've tried not to be result driven, especially like with the start that we had, just trying to make sure that every day we're in the gym, it feels like, hey, we're having a good practice. We're doing something productive. It feels like we're like doing things that send us in the right way. And whether that shows up on the scoreboard every time or not, like you're never really sure. But I think this last stretch of games is kind of, giving us a little bit more reassurance that we're making sure we're making the most of our time and, playing the basketball that we expect out of us.
Yeah, and looking at your schedule and things like that, Coach. So you're 7-2 in the league, and looking at scores and things like that, it seems like if you guys can get to the mid to upper 40s, that usually leads to some success for you guys. And then on the opposite side, if you're keeping teams down in the 30s, of course, you're usually successful as well. Is that something that you think is important for you guys on let's talk about the offensive side of getting out and scoring and playing that style that gives you the best chance of coming out with a win?
Definitely. I think it's still a work in progress offensively. I think some nights the recipe may be more successful than others. We might have to change things up in certain matchups, but I I think the kids have done a really good job adjusting to whatever the game plan is. And at the end of the day, when we execute whatever our plan defensively is, I think we end up giving ourselves a really good shot to compete in just about every single game we're going to have. So that mindset kind of travels, I think, a little bit for us. And if we bring that in every single time we're on the court, that I think the group feels comfortable that we'll figure out offensively what we need to do. And we're fine tuning that as the season continues to go, but they're working with us.
So how valuable was how nice was it to see your guys' defensive switch last night down? Was it 6 with about 6 minutes left?
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So your guys' defensive switch against a really up and coming Paint Valley team, for you guys to kind of flip the switch and be able to get a big win on Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, huge props to Paint Valley.
Mm-hmm.
They've got some really impressive young athletes that have stepped up, and Karis obviously does what she does really, really at a high level. And they were making things really tough. It wasn't the start that we wanted, and I think as the game kind of went on, we found some things that worked better than others. But yeah, like you said, defensively, we kind of just turned it up a notch and kind of solidified some things that we thought might have been a little shakier than we would want them to. So making those adjustments kind of allowed us to stay in there. And then when we capitalized on some opportunities, good things ended up happening.
Yeah, so you guys have a big one coming up with Uniota next. Is that right, Coach?
Yes, we are at Uniota Thursday and then home versus Pike, I believe, Saturday.
Yeah, super easy week. I mean, it's just what you want right before the tournament draw. But how much do the games like that just kind of help your team with being as young as you guys are?
Oh, they're all great opportunities for us. I think it's just trying to approach each challenge with the right mindset and understanding that regardless of who's in front of you, you have an opportunity to see what your level is and what you're capable of doing. And I think this group, like, we're kind of learning as we've gone, because we're, like you said, a little bit on the younger side, but like, they just approach it in the right way. We've got some people that are learning some leadership roles and kind of bringing some people along. And I don't know, they're not overwhelmed by the situation that's in front of them most nights, and I'm appreciative of that, and I think it helps us in the long run.
Well, we appreciate talking to you tonight, Coach, and wish you well moving forward here as you finish up the season.
I appreciate you guys for having me.
Thank you, Coach, very much. Have a great night, and have enjoy your day off. Sort of day off tomorrow, because I'm sure you got practice. So.
Right.
Yeah. So take care, and we'll see you down the road.
Will do. Sounds good.
Thank you, Coach. Yeah, he's a first-year coach, but he's been there for a while, helping with the program, and the program. Obviously you think Coach Day, but you also, it's because of coaches like Coach Newland, and that's why even with a slow start, you've seen them have a lot of success so far this year.
Yep. I think that stability has no doubt probably been important, and has what allowed them to experience that success this year.
All right, I appreciate it, Coach.
Yep, and now joining us on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline from Zane Trace, Coach Tyler Cassidy. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Doing well. How are you guys?
We're doing well as well. So we appreciate you hanging with us a little bit, taking a little bit later than what we were anticipating, but we appreciate you taking some time with us on a Sunday night. Been a pretty good weekend for you guys. It was a nice win over Logan Elm. Can you tell us a little bit about how your guys' weekend went?
Yeah, it started off Friday night. I've got a little bit of a hoarse voice right now.
Oh,
Friday.
Well,
Saturday,
I was going to say it's that time of year too. So when you're coaching back-to-back days, it can happen.
Yeah, like Nick said, it's the January grind. So, and I think Friday night against Adena at home, I thought that they really came in and played really well against us, and Coach Day and Coach Bradley really had a good game plan. I was really impressed with some of the things that they did, and kind of took us out of our flow offensively a little bit early on, and just kind of we had some foul trouble and some different things. We're down by 5 at halftime, and then came out, had a really good third quarter, and I think we won the third quarter 17-6, took the lead, and then we stretched it a little bit in the fourth to close it out, and then to turn around. Saturday was an afternoon game at Logan Elm, so it was I was a little, I don't know if I'd say worried, but interested to see our kids and having that little bit more depth maybe than what we had last year, I think showed up this weekend because we rotated those guys early on Saturday, and everyone played pretty well that got in, and it was a tie game, I think, after the third quarter, and then in the fourth, we just were able to get the lead. I think Grady hit a big 3, and then we stretched it a little bit as the fourth quarter went on, and we're able to finish that game.
Well, I want to talk about scheduling a little bit with you, Coach, as it's kind of winding down. Of course, I mean you're 8-1 in the league, so all league games are always important. But then looking ahead, you've got a couple of tough non-league games coming up to finish things off too. Jackson and at Memphis. How important is it, or do you where do you think that your understanding of how all that works with RPI and tournament seeding and things like that, and how to kind of balance your schedule to test yourself, but then also give you the best chance of getting a good seed?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think every coach is kind of evaluating where they're going to be in, next year, because if you think you have a good team, you really need to go out and schedule teams that you feel, again, are going to have good records. I think there was a situation last year where we'll get better games, better for you guys. And I think that's what the RPI does. It really makes you look at, you got to evaluate yourself and where you think you're going to be, because you want to at least have a winning record or be somewhat close to that if you're competitive, but you don't want to go out and over schedule and then, the other side of it happens. So,
well, then you almost have to look at who you're going to be playing and what league they're going to be playing in. Because like a Logan Elm might come in at 500, but they're a really good team, but it's because of that league they play in. So it's got to be really difficult to try to balance that schedule. And I'm glad you mentioned that as well. So you mentioned your guys having more depth this year. So can you talk about, a little bit about those depth pieces? Because a lot of times, when you think Zane Trace, you think of a Grady Stewart, Gunnar McCullough, but who are some of the other players that have stepped up to give you this really nice start this year?
Well, Roman Berry, he's kind of one that, I don't think he came out of the game against Adena, and then he didn't come out of the game against Logan Elm. Usually we want him on the floor just because he handles the ball so well and is able to get us into what we want to get into. And, you feel confident in him at the end of games and close games like we had over the weekend. Lance Stevens has helped kind of handle the pressure a little bit along with Grady, so you get your ball handling. But a kid who's really turned the corner for us is Hudson Williams. I mean, he's I think he had 13 points, 10 rebounds against Adena Friday, and he had 8 points against Logan Elm and a couple big-time buckets when we needed them. And you go back to the McLean game. I know that you guys were there, and I thought McLean played very, very well, and they earned it. But from a coaching standpoint, Hudson wasn't getting as many minutes back then. And looking at that, we set him out the last 5 minutes of the game, and we struggled shooting from outside a little bit that game. And, I think we ended up with 4 points in the fourth quarter. And you look at some of those losses, and truly, if you approach it the right way, I think there's some things that we did and we adjusted, and Hudson's in the starting lineup now, and it's made us, I think, a little bit better offensively and defensively. And he just has really solidified maybe his spot and his role. He played 28 minutes on Saturday, and he's just continued to get better and better and better.
Yeah, I remember the last time I was on and talked to you early in the year. You were talking about him and kind of just getting his basketball legs under him and getting used to kind of pace and things like that. And this is probably about the time of the year that maybe you expected him to kind of turn that corner. And I think you talked or hinted then that you knew that he was going to be a big piece for you guys here as you got to the second half of the season.
Oh, absolutely. And it's just his work ethic has allowed him to get there. And I think another one is, Bryce Johnson has come along nicely, and he was starting a little bit earlier in the year. Now Hudson's starting, and we've moved Gunner a little bit outside, and I think that's helped Gunner's points per game a little bit, and has helped us overall scoring wise. But Bryce can come in and do a lot of different things with his versatility as a defender and his explosiveness and keeping balls alive. And then you also got Noah Kaiser and Jameson Hill that come in, and both of them can shoot the three, and they're really good defensively. And a couple coaches talked on scouting report and job assignments and whatnot, and those guys do a really good job. Even though they're not in the starting lineup, they understand their role and they're going to play a lot. And when they come in, I have a lot of trust in them that they'll recognize sets or what we want to take away and personnel and things like that.
Well, that's what makes good teams, is when everyone gets their role, and then also when you get the kind of the surprise players that have played as well as they have with like a Hudson and Bryce, and it's just that all equates to a really nice start for you guys. So, Coach, we appreciate you coming on and kind of hanging with us a little bit, and best of luck to you this week, and we look forward to talking to you again later on this season.
All right, appreciate you guys. Thanks for all you do.
Yep, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Bye.
Now, when you have juniors come out that are as athletic as those guys, it helps. But as he said, in that McLean game, Hudson really helped them get to a lead because just his offensive rebound and just his nose for the ball. And he overall just he can make so many things happen. And because of that, you can see how he would get better the more and more he plays.
Yeah, you can tell very quickly, just from the physical aspect of it, that both of those kids can impact a basketball game just with their physical ability alone. So that's a huge addition when you get a couple kids like that to come out.
Oh, 100% agree. So next coach now on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline from Fairfield is Coach Quentin Williams. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Good. How you doing, John?
Oh, I'm doing well. We appreciate you hanging with us a little bit later than what we expected, but good to talk to you for the first time this year. How is everything going health-wise for you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I just had a little health issue, but nothing's gonna hold me back from being on the court. So it was good. A lot of good stuff happened while I was gone. So
well, that's the biggest thing is positive things coming out of it, and it seems like you guys are playing a pretty good basketball right now.
Yeah, we're getting better. I missed a couple big games there, unfortunately, but I felt like my kids really did a good job responding, sticking together, and my coaching staff did a great job as well of coming together. So that's really helped me a lot this year, and honestly made it a lot more fun for me.
Yeah, so to just kind of talk about who's playing well for you right now, and who are those players that maybe are a little ahead of schedule or playing a bigger role than maybe you anticipated to start the year?
Yeah, obviously for us, Bodhi Smith and Griffin Friend are kind of our catalyst, what get us going. I ask a lot of both of those guys on the offensive and defensive end of the floor. And then my big guy, Quentin McIntosh, he's really come on lately. I think last game he almost had 20 rebounds and 15, 16 points against White Oak. So I've been really challenging him this year to be big and play big, and he's starting to. And the biggest thing with him is just keeping him on the floor, because big guys love to block shots, but it's better to keep people on the floor and learn how to wall up. So I think he's finally, I say this now, and we got a game here in a couple of days. So, but he's doing a really good job of that. And a lot of role players are starting to step up and get more confidence off the bench. Landon Hoskins, Lane Burgess, Caleb Rice has really had a big impact on us this year in the starting lineup as well. He's really starting to shoot the ball well, and I typically have him guard one of the best offensive players on the other team. So those are a few of my kids.
Yeah, and you mentioned with Caleb Rice, I felt like seeing him from last year until like when I got to see you guys down at Eastern, And I know you weren't there that night, but down at Eastern, you can just tell his confidence level has just grown as his role has grown as well. Just how valuable has he been overall for your team, besides just guarding that best player, but also just how much his confidence has grown?
Yeah, that's a big thing I talk about with all my kids is, learning where you get confidence from. And, it can't be from things that are going to change all the time, like missing and making shots. Or turning the ball over. Sometimes that's where a lot of kids try to get their confidence from. And, it feels good to, control the ball or make shots. But, I just told him, and I tell all my kids this, you can control your confidence every night if you just focus on, obviously, the things that you can control. If you just show up and have good energy, focus on your teammates, how you can impact the game with your teammates, be a positive energy for them and communicate at a high level. If you get your confidence from doing that, you're going to make shots, and then you're going to minimize your mistakes. And he's really bought into that this year, where last year he was a little bit younger as a sophomore and had to play him off the bench, and he really struggled with confidence at times. But he's really bought into that. I tell all my kids, you're open. We define what's a good shot and what's a bad shot. You're open, let that thing fly. You miss it, that's fine, because it's a good shot. And if we take good shots most of the time, then that's all that we can do.
And so, we've talked already a couple times tonight about the time of year it is and every game matter and things like that. So what do you have upcoming here in the next week, Coach?
Oh yeah, we got a big week. We play Fayetteville again for the second time, and they got the best of us at our place by a one possession game. So that'll be big for the SHAC implications for the small league. We got to win that game, and my kids are definitely excited for it, to try to get back and get pretty much in contention for a small league championship again. So that'll be a big game on Tuesday, and then Friday we have another small league game in Manchester, which they've been playing people tough lately. They just beat White Oak by double digits, and I think they beat Western Latham as well on Saturday. So.
Yeah, as I say, and Hayslip's one of the more dynamic players as well. But you've got a couple as well. So I know you mentioned them already, but how much fun is it to watch what Griffin can do with the ball, Brody's shooting? I just feel like you guys have a nice group that has to be fun to be around, and then I guarantee your fans enjoy watching them play as well.
Yeah, they are. They work really hard for me, and I feel like they've really, both of them too, starting last year, started to buy in a lot, but even more so over the summer and even this year, they've really, really bought in, and they're having a lot of fun while doing it. So I continue to push them and challenge them in different ways and try to teach them.
You're taking some time and hanging with us on a Sunday night, and really happy just to know you're back on the sideline, and I guarantee those kids enjoy having you there every day as well.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate all you guys do for our area too. Sometimes I think it goes unnoticed, but I mean, it's just a difference you guys make from when I was in school. I guess it's been a little while now because I'm getting old. To now,
we all are.
You guys give us. So I genuinely appreciate it a lot for our area and for the kids in our area. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Coach. And
Thanks, Coach.
We'll see you down the line, and hope to talk to you again soon.
Yep, sound good, guys. Have a good evening.
You too, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's just, Bertie Smith had one of our top games of the year just because he shoots the ball at such a high level, and Friend just does so many different things for him. They're a really tough team to match up for in those smaller divisions.
Yep, and he talked about buy-in a little bit there, and talked about how bought in those two players are, and this from coaching. If you don't have to coach effort, man, it's a lot easier when you can focus your time and energy on other things. So I'm sure that's a plus for him.
Yep, 100% agree with that. So now joining us on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline from Miami Trace, Coach Ben Ackley. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we appreciate you hanging on a little bit later. You can tell Max that we kept you up later when you talked to him on Friday night.
Hey, I enjoyed listening to his kids talk. A lot of respect for those guys.
Yeah, and it's just your guys' league is so talented this year, and you can just tell really well coached league, and then some really good kids as well. So we appreciate you taking some time with us here on Sunday. And before we get into that, Nick just mentioned effort as we're getting ready to come on with you guys. I was so impressed with your guys' effort on Tuesday when you guys played Waverly. Obviously ended up being a lopsided win, but it was from the tip. How much has that effort helped you guys in this current 4-game win streak for you guys?
It's been big. We owe a lot to Washington Courthouse and the Circleville. They helped out a lot more than I did as far as our kids go. And we dug back in and had to reevaluate some things. And it starts on top with me and our staff and goes to our kids. But everyone was willing to make adjustments, and we had some tough conversations and got some things figured out, we think, and hopefully the effort will continue to be there throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, I would say just from looking at results and things like that you've probably got some things figured out. And again, both of those losses, just tough losses, tight games, good games for a basketball fan for sure. But we talked to Coach Morrow about this earlier. Just talk about how good the FAC is this year, and just what it's like knowing every daggone league night it's going to be a battle regardless of whose night it is.
Yeah, it's extremely tough. In the 5 years I've been on the boys' side, it's by far the toughest in my opinion, from top to bottom. There's not truly a weak spot in the league. I know that we're extremely nervous every time we lace them up and go. Going to Hillsborough Tuesday night's very nerve-wracking because Jack Howland scores the ball as well as any guard that will play all year, and his dad's as good a coach as there is around, and he's been very successful for many, many years. And Hillsborough's playing a great brand of basketball right now, the best they've been all year, which is a tribute to their staff and their kids for their continued buy-in, because it was a struggle at the beginning. And then Friday we get to go to Jackson, and you guys know how tough that is, how good they are. But the league is just from top to bottom. I mean, like Washington Courthouse can beat anyone on any given night, which they've shown. Chillicothe presents so many problems athletically, and with their kids, they can score the ball when they're making shots. They're going to always be extremely tough to beat. Jackson's playing, they've got 5-6 seniors that have played varsity now. I'd say they're well over, they're coming up on 90 games, I would say, that they've played in high school. And I think that which they should be. I mean, they're great kids, and their grinders are playing the best basketball they've ever played. And watching the film I've watched on them, I've seen them a couple times live, and they're a lot of fun to watch. I just wish we didn't have to play.
Well, then especially, I don't want to get too far ahead with the tournament, but especially, all of those teams are, well, besides McLean and Washington, are with you guys in Division III. So just how much does playing these teams, these types of teams, get you ready for how deep that Division III tournament is as well?
It is. Well, and last year we were extremely fortunate to have the year we had. And, our schedule was good, but I didn't think it was great. So not only is our league the best it's been in my 5 years, but our non-league schedule is as tough as there's ever been at Miami Trace for the boys, and at least in the 25 years I've been paying attention. We played Meigs, and we've played New Albany, and we played Harvest Prep, and we've played Circleville and Logan Elm. I mean, there really hasn't been an off night on our schedule. We've got Fairfield coming. We go to Uniota. It just doesn't get any easier at all moving forward. So we hope that schedule will help prepare us a little bit more, because the scary part is Marietta's really good. I don't know how many people around here are paying attention to them. They're extremely athletic. I've been watching them all year. So to get out, all of us, and I'm speaking for Coach Morrow, Coach Beard, myself, we're either going to have to beat Marietta or one of each other to get to Athens. And that's just to think of that will keep you up at night. So you have to continue to try to get a little better day by day and to keep growing as a team and hope you peak at the right time.
Yeah, and we've talked about scheduling a little bit tonight, and when we talked to you about it earlier in the year about just how tough your schedule was, and that was purposeful, by you of wanting to go out and make sure that you were preparing your guys for what was to come to end the season and be ready for what they would face then. And so now you're about halfway through that. And I would guess that you're pretty happy with how that's turned out as far as the challenge that is presented for you all, but also as well as your team has responded to that challenge as well.
Yeah, I mean, last year was a little different because we didn't face much adversity throughout the year. We always seemed to find a way. We got a lot of bouncers our way, and we could have lost a lot of games as easy as we won them, but we always ended up on the right side. And this year, a couple nights, we just didn't come to play. And a little scar tissue has really seemed to help this group and wake them up. We're still playing three sophomores quite a bit at important moments. And like the other night, even against Washington Courthouse, I thought we just had a bunch of empty possessions. And I know a lot of people probably think I'm a prick and I'm just always negative, but guys, I'll be honest with you. I mean, we need to play better basketball. So it's a 32-minute game. And as we told our kids in the locker room, we can't go to Hillsborough and Jackson and play the way we did tonight and get out of there. It just doesn't work. We got up 10 or 11 and took bad shots, had untimely turnovers, against Courthouse. We fouled twice in the last 90 seconds of the first half, and they're in the bonus, and we send their two best players who hadn't really seen the ball go through the hole to the foul line, and they go 4 for 4. We just can't do it. So I love our talent. I love our kids, and I love the fact that we're nowhere near where I think that we'll be in 2 or 3 weeks, and we just have to keep growing through these moments, and I have to keep telling myself that we're depending a lot on 16-year-old kids right now, and that's not always easy. So our juniors and seniors have done a good job of leading and stepping up to help guide them through this.
Well, and that's got to be a fun time to go into practice when hey, our best days are still ahead of us, especially with that youth. So can you just talk about a little bit before we get off here about what your seniors have done leadership-wise for you guys through a little bit, very slight lull, and then over the last 5 games?
Well, Adam is just, everyone talks about Adam, and he's going to Clemson to play football, and he's doing this, but his willingness to sacrifice has just been, so fun to watch and see, because we're in a day and age now where it's all about me with a lot of kids. And am I starting? Am I scoring? What am I doing? And he could be at Clemson right now and be a lot warmer for sure. and starting his college football career and already getting NIL money and all the things that come with that. And he's at Miami Trace High School, and, tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning, he's going to be at practice. And he wanted to come back. We had some unfinished business from a year ago, and there was never a doubt. All the rumors and stuff were he would never come back. He was going to do that. We knew from the very beginning that if he went to Clemson, he would be back to play basketball. And then after they went to their spring practice, it was actually the day of our banquet. He came up before the banquet started. He had been at Clemson the day before for the spring game, and he said, I'm coming back. I'll be back 100%. And he talked to Coach Sweeney about that and got all that out. And he's just been incredible. Blake Bodecker is a program kid that doesn't get a ton of playing time for us. The other night he got
knocked down a couple threes.
Hit a couple threes. And Blake is a great kid who's put his time in, and we really appreciate him and all his effort. And it's always fun to see the team rally around a kid like that and do those things. We also have Cade Whitaker, who has had a tough luck year because he tore his meniscus in like week 3 of football during an open gym. And Cade's a great kid. He shoots the ball very well, and he's a kid that we're still working to get his legs under him a little bit more. He didn't have the luxury of having 5 scrimmages and 3.5 or 4 weeks of practice every day like everyone else did before we got started. So it's trying to get him back in. And with our schedule the way it is, it's not like you can just donate minutes at any time. So, and we've got guys playing at a high level. It's been harder than we anticipated to get him lengthy spells in the game, but he's doing a lot better as we go. And we look for him to be a lot bigger factor down the stretch with his experience and his basketball IQ moving forward. And Luke Armstrong's our last senior. Luke has just been a breath of fresh air this year. He's been in the program, but it's like the light came on for him this off season. He worked extremely hard. You know, we take our kids to AP prep in the off season, and they've been instrumental in the building of this program and the success we've had. We owe them a lot. And Luke, I just saw a difference in him from day one. As soon as we got back into school and started, he had a good summer, but when we started with the fall workouts and stuff, he's just been a different kid. And he's always been able to shoot the basketball, but this year he's doing things that are just different. He's rebounding the ball. He's our second leading rebounder right now. He can handle the ball. He's a much better defender. He's just so much bigger and stronger. But the biggest thing is he's just more confident. You know, he hit a couple big threes against Courthouse the other night that were huge. Neither team in that game shot the ball well. We hit 2 threes as a team, and Luke hit 2 threes. Nice. So it was one of them nights where just nothing was falling for either team. And it was more like a Gus Macker 5-on-5 than it was a normal high school basketball game, which you expect when you're playing your rivals. So, right. But Luke has been great. But as a whole, the seniors, along with Julian Baker, have just been absolutely instrumental to helping our young kids. They've welcomed them in, and they've done a great job of, you know, not making it about them. This senior class, if we stop tomorrow, will already be the winningest class in the history of Miami Trace basketball.
That's pretty good.
And they've still got a long way to go. So we're proud of them. But the sophomores continue to remind them that 2 years from now they're going to try to take that crown. So it's our senior classes and sophomore class have been strong since the very beginning, and you know, we're very fortunate to have these kids, and not just as basketball players but as young men. They're just great people. It'll be a lot different without them moving forward, and I hope we got a long time before we're talking about that.
Right. We hope so for you as well, Coach. So we appreciate you taking some time here on a Sunday night, and best of luck to you this week. And we look forward to seeing how Friday plays out, and obviously tough one before that as well. So thank you, Coach, for coming on once again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, no problem, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
You too.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach Ackley, one of the really fun guys to talk to around, and it was just, you know, you can see why that team is so talented, so good.
Yep, absolutely, and you can see, you know, we talked about, you know, kind of getting them battle tested and things like that, and if we had time, I was going to kind of get to it with him. One of the things I've always admired, I guess you would say, when watching his teams play is he'll make his players play through another team's run. You know, a team might get on a 6-8 point run, and he's not one that's quick to get a timeout and kind of regroup. He'll keep them out there in those spots, and you know, in talking to him, we kind of know what his personality and things like that is. But I have to think that he's standing over there like, you guys got yourself into this. Get yourself out of this now.
Exactly.
But you know, that only makes them stronger and more prepared for facing the adversity that is bound to happen.
100% agree. So our last coach of the evening here on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline, and we appreciate you hanging with us a little bit later. Coach Pickerill, Kevin Pickerill from Eastern Brown. How you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm doing well, thank you.
We appreciate you waiting along a little bit. You're not a Bears fan, are you?
I'm not a Bears fan.
Okay, because like I'm a Bears fan. We have it on in here, and I'm just Like I might have shown my face too much.
So you wasn't too happy with that last interception.
No. Like there was a time me and Shane were doing our SVC show back in the day, and it was the double doink game. I'm watching it as we're on, and like he asked me a question, I just did not talk for a few minutes. So I'm going to try to move past that and get you on here, Coach. So we appreciate you hanging with us tonight. And, last time we talked, we knew you had a couple players that were going to have to sit the second half of the year, but it seems like you guys have really played well as of late, even with that change. So what's kind of been the secret for you guys, or maybe not the secret, but kind of what's worked for you guys over the last few games? Because you've had some really good success before and then still current.
I think just continuity's been really well, and kids are willing to work and do the little things that makes things click and makes teams better. And our defensive side of the ball has been a lot better here in the last 3 weeks. Basically, since the holiday tournament, we've kind of found our niche a little bit, what works for us, and doing a better job of taking care of the ball and hitting free throws and just some little things that give you a chance to win. So, our seniors have been great leaders too. They don't take a huge role in scoring, but they do all the other intangibles that make winning a whole lot easier. And it's important for them, and they enjoy that role. So that's a big part of our success.
Yeah, and so with a little bit of the second half of the season is going to look a little different than the first half of the season. How much of the first half of the season did you have to kind of put players in different spots and things like that? If I might not need you here right now, but here later in the year we're going to have to make some adjustments, and I'm going to need you in a different spot or somewhere than where you normally wouldn't play.
We actually did start that a little bit earlier than I wanted to, but we got in foul trouble one night there early in December, and I put a couple kids in positions that I thought we'd be using them come this time of year. And to my surprise, even the coaching staff said they didn't look too bad there, Coach. We've got something here working. So we actually started doing that a little sooner than I expected, and it kind of made things easier when we got to this point in the season. Sophia Yule's been basically a 4 or 5 player some last year for us, and we've played her to 3 a good bit this year, and to her credit, she's a player, and she, wherever you put her, she can make that happen, and she's taken on that role here and helped our team succeed, maybe a little beyond what I expected at this point. But there's other kids as well. I mean, Alyssa Johnston's been playing well, and she's even played some 3 where she played 4 or 5 all last year as well. So just credit to those kids. They want to do what it takes to get to make the team successful.
Yeah, that's ultimately what it takes to be a really successful team, especially when you deal with some changes throughout the season. So big win over North Adams last week, but it's not like you can really rest on that because you got a big week coming up this week. Can you talk a little bit about what's coming up this week? We'll talk about the Winter Classic here in a few minutes as well.
Yeah, we got Miami Trace coming in tomorrow night. Their record's probably not how they actually are. They're probably a little better what I can see on tape, and I know they got a great point guard, and anytime you're playing Trace, you're always going to feel like they're prepared, don't matter who's coaching them, and they play in a good league, and they make me nervous. Of course, everybody makes me a little bit nervous or on edge, but anytime you can play a good quality team in non-league and hope that you get something out of it, and we've been able to do that. And then Thursday night we got Fayetteville, number 1 team in the league. We played them about 3 weeks ago and had them on the ropes, and just a few things there at the end that let it slip away. But it showed our kids that we could play at that level, and it's really gave us a boost of confidence here. And then we played Goshen in our classic he's talking about, and they're another great team that's only lost a couple games, and somebody's hosting a tournament, probably out and play one of the better teams in the tournament. But hey, at 9 o'clock in the morning, you hope anything can happen at that point. So.
Well, kind of talk about, I know John said he's going to talk about the Classic here in just a minute, but, at this time of year, kind of a nice time of year to change things up a little bit and just different than just your everyday game, with just the type of, or the time of season it is, and keeping kids engaged and things like that. So kind of talk about that a little bit.
So, yeah, definitely something I've always wanted to do. I always thought of it when we was on the boys' side. Why wouldn't we try to host something like this? And just different things like that. The one thing that really sticks out to me is that a couple things I wanted to do when we had this is I didn't want to announce their opponents till basically around Christmas or just after. And it basically gives you 3 weeks to prepare for it. So it's kind of like the tournament. You find out about 2 weeks later you're playing that first game. And you got to work your tail off as a coach. And I know it's easier now with all the games being on televised and stuff, but I'm still kind of old style. I like to watch a lot of teams live. So you kind of hustle and bustle and try to find out where they're playing. And you might be playing Southeastern, but they're playing at Amanda Clear Creeks or something. So you got to drive to do that. But, just that was one of the things I wanted to do, to try to make it something similar to a district semifinal, district final game comparison, quality opponents. I didn't want to announce the opponent at the beginning of the year, because if somebody had a couple injuries and now all of a sudden they've went from being a really good team to, an average or mediocre team and playing one of the better teams, let's try to level it out. And where we're at in about 3 weeks before, that's where we're at. But, it didn't quite work just exactly how I wanted it the first couple of years. And the last 3 or 4 years have been really good, really good tournaments or day of basketball. So, I'm looking forward to it this weekend, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work on our staff or even our players and our administration, but it's a fun day of basketball, especially for girls that don't get highlighted a lot. And, outside the Classic in the country and the stuff that they have there in Columbus, but just something here local that we could maybe get some Southeast, Southwest teams playing each other. And it's definitely a fun, fun day of basketball. I've reached out to some other coaches, like to see them get involved in it. Noto being one of them. I know he's been on the top here lately, so he can't play everybody. But maybe with Miley going, I reached out to him actually this past week to see if maybe they would be hunting for some games and be something maybe they could get involved in the future. But it's a great atmosphere, great experience for these kids, and we try to make it the best for them and their coaches.
Well, the good thing is they're not going to have a huge drop off, because they still got some really talented players. But that's
they
what you
really do.
That's what you want in this, is when you look at the schedule. And I never noticed that before, but I'm like looking at your schedule now, and it just says Winter Hoops Classic to be announced. I'm like, I never thought of that. Like, because we'd never really talked about it. We're like, oh, we're going to go do the Winter Hoops Classic. A couple of years we came down there. But yeah, I really like how you guys do that. Can you talk about some of the teams that are going to be in it? And it starts at 9 a.m., correct, down at your guys' place?
Yes. So 9 a.m. game is ourself and Goshen, which Goshen I think is 12-2 at the time, right at the top of the SBAAC. Really good conference. Western Brown's in it, and they're tied with them. But that's one of the games that I feel like we could compete with them, and they're going to do a lot of things and a lot of different things. I've watched a little bit on film on them, but that'll be fun. But Medford, White Oak, of course, White Oak losing a few players here, but Medford's maybe fell off a little bit compared to what they have been in the past, but they got a big win this past week against West. They got a nice player. White Oak, of course, like I said, had a really good player that's going to have to start being set out. But Terrell's doing a great job there. Got the kids playing hard, and they're buying in. And then we go to Williamsburg. It's also on the top of the SBAAC, and they're on the small school when they play West Union, which West Union's not got the best record, but they've got two really good guards that can play with anybody. But just, I watched Williamsburg last night dismantle North Adams there for a while, and they're a good team, and they've got 6, 7, 8 deep, and that'd be a good matchup for a lot of teams that we've got in it. Just didn't fit for timing matters. Teams want certain times and can come, but they need to play in the morning, or they can come and want to play in the evening. So Williamsburg was in that case, so I had to try to get who I could get there. But then the next game I think is Peebles and Woodward, which Woodward's got a really good player, but don't have a whole lot around her. But they're like 7 or 8 and 4. So, Peebles is up and down. They play good at times, and I've seen them seem to be really good at times, and other times they struggle. But be a good matchup for them to go against a bigger school. And then the intriguing game, the next one's Green versus Cincinnati, Wyoming. I haven't watched Green myself, but I watched them last year, and I know how good her daughter is, and I've seen them a little bit this summer, but I didn't see them since they had the kid moved in from Notre Dame. And I think that'll be a good matchup, and she was really encouraged by that, by stepping up and playing a bigger D3 school. So I was glad to be able to make that happen. And then we get into the 3 nightcap games that I think will be really good. Now, I don't know where West is at with their injuries, but West and Western Brown could be a really good game. They both got a lot of size. Western Brown's got a really good guard that getting some D1 looks at she's a sophomore, and they could be a really scary team and going to be a really tough outcome tournament play. So West in Division 5, outside of Portsmouth and Fairfield, I felt like all along they're probably the third best team, but I know they fell on a little hard times here lately. Hopefully they get back to healthy. And then North Adams, Greenfield, both teams are going to play hard. They're scrappy. They've got really good guards. North Adams got a good post player. It should be an interesting matchup. Both of them's a little bit down on numbers, but still going to be a really good game. And then the last game is Hillsborough and Fayetteville. And Hillsborough competes with everybody. They've played a tough schedule. Fayetteville, like I said earlier, seems like they play 8 or 9 kids and don't mean to miss a beat with that. So, different like Division 3s versus Division 6s and 7s versus 4s. And just, I don't know. It's just been kind of intriguing putting this together. And hopefully we got a good day of basketball and 8 good games to come at you.
Yeah, I think just when we were looking at the schedule earlier, we were talking about it for our overtime show earlier, and there's a couple games I was like, oh, all right. So should be a really fun day of basketball. You guys do a great job down there. Is C103 airing it?
C103 will be carrying it. Yes.
Okay, so if you can't make it down, they do a really nice job over there. So and if you're in the area, you need to go watch basketball because it's more fun in person. We say that about the games we're streaming. It's like, hey, go to this game. Like you can watch you can watch it back later, but it's being there means more. So really look forward to the time when we're able to get back down there for to see you guys, and we know you got a big week coming up, and hope you can get plenty of rest before that because I know that's a long day.
It's a long day. I've been there a lot of times. Get there at 6:30, 7 o'clock, and you're walking out of the gym at 10:30, and you ask yourself, I know Matt's probably asked this himself a lot of times, like, why am I still doing this? But just the competitive side of me and the love of the game, and you want to do it for the kids, and you want to make it special for the kids and give them a reason to have fun, be there. And it's definitely a lot of work. Like I said earlier, it's a lot of work, a lot of stress, between trying to get referees, and you want good referees, and you want a good day of basketball, and you don't want somebody blowing the whistle all day and taking 2 hours to play an hour-and-a-half game, and just different things like that. But we feel like we're in the right direction with this, and being the 6th year, we hope it only keep getting better.
Coach, we appreciate you coming on to talk about it a little bit, and we hope a lot of people get out and watch those games in person because those girls deserve it, and you guys deserve it too for putting on a top-class event.
I appreciate that, guys.
All right, thank you, Coach, and best of luck this week, and we hope to hear from you again before the tournament.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks,
Coach.
Bye.
Yeah, we got down there a couple years ago, and it's such a nice event. I think actually one of our first ever streams was from there. I think that might have been we were throwing out some stuff and just seeing how it worked. And Coach Pickerill always been really good to us here at SOSA.
Yeah, I I'm a fan of the all day, the classics, those kind of things. Catch a lot of basketball, see a lot of different teams in one day. So good thing they've got going on down there.
Yep, and then we've talked about it a couple different times, but we have our SOSA Classic will be coming up in a couple weeks down at Jackson. We'll be pushing that big time as it gets closer. I believe that is February 7th. We'll have 6 games down there, and hopefully we can run it even close to as well as they run like the Winter Hoops Classic and all these other events that are going on as well. So real quick, before we get going, just want to talk about our live streams for this week. Tomorrow night, Monday, we've got Piketon at McLean Girls. Should be a really good one over there in Greenfield. Tuesday, our Kingston National Bank SVC game of the week will be Huntington at Piketon on the boys' side. And then Saturday, we will have Southern at Southeastern boys. Should be a really fun game. First time to get a chance to see Southern this year. Now, we also will have one more live stream through the week. It will be the OHS BCA, which is the Baseball Coaches Association, the live stream of their Hall of Fame banquet, which is going to be 12:55 on Friday. It will be live on our YouTube page as well, but also the SOSA Dugout that, you can find it at sosaohio.com/the dugout. You're going to see some videos from it. You might see some stuff from the Jackson kids because they got a chance to really test it out. Not even to its biggest capabilities yet, but it's going to be really cool. And if you are a baseball, softball player, coach, anything to that, it's a great opportunity to get better in the Chillicothe area. And you don't have to be from the Chillicothe area to do it like those Jackson kids. Hopefully we'll see them back again. I think we may. And, if you go to sosaohio.com/the dugout, you can book your time. We do have walk-ins available, but if you book your time, you are guaranteed to get your spot.
Yeah, it's a first class facility. Just the change that had taken place from when I was here, I don't know when it was, a month or two ago, and saw kind of the bare bones, and then walking into the night, it was like, wow, it's impressive.
Yeah, and it's still got a couple more days of work, and then it'll be up and ready to go on Wednesday, and really looking forward to that, and glad we got to have some people in to test it out to see just exactly how it is. So I think that's it for it tonight. So for our producer, Christian Spradlin, we appreciate you coming in. Happy birthday, Joel Webb, as well. So sad to had to miss that surprise party. You said he was surprised, right? Hey, that's a great job by the family to get that organized, because
very seldom do you see that work. Very seldom.
So if you watch Overtime tomorrow, you'll see Joel Webb for about 1/10 of a second, because Derek did not listen of, hey, just walk by, and Derek just stops in front of the camera. So check that at some point tomorrow in Overtime. You got to watch it to find it, but it's a top moment, and maybe it might make the new intro. But we do hope that Coach Matt Hoops gets better. But we appreciate having Nick Barrows coming in anytime that we need him, and it makes our show even better to know that we're not going to miss a beat without Coach Hoops here. So we appreciate you, Nick.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate Coach Morrow and the Ironman coming in. We also had Garrett Carver in studio as well. We always appreciate the Haynes-Toll Healthcare Center. They get us really interesting guests that we probably would not have had otherwise, so we appreciate that. We appreciate our Kenneth Hay for hanging around with us today and getting a lot of stuff done here at the SOSA Dugout and the SOSA Studio as well, the Chillicothe Sports Card Studio. Look for SOSA Overtime tomorrow around 9 a.m. And if you are missing any of the interviews, we'll have timestamps here shortly, and you'll be able to find them anytime. So once again, for Christian Spradlin, for Nick Barrows, I'm John Bruce. You've been watching the Haynes-Toll Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. Have a great rest of your week.